In this video, we're going to look at some basic Excel formulas, functions, and some basic formatting. We're going to begin by opening up our file. The name of our file is Test 1 Review. File opens up. Now, something always to keep in mind, that in order to make changes to the file or to save it, you always have to click on Enable Editing. I'm going to click up here to enlarge it. There is a number of sheets here, but the sheet we're going to begin at is called Data. It's kind of laid out here. To be honest with you, what we want to do is to make this blank sheet look like data finished. So I'm going to come back here, click on Data. When you're looking at the data, we're going to end up putting in some formulas here, also formulas down here. But before we do that, we're going to need some information. We're going to need information having to do with quantity sold. So we're going to begin by clicking on column B. The whole column is now highlighted. Right-click, insert. So now we got a blank column. There's nothing in here right now. The reason why I did that is I want to copy over the quantity sold, this information right here. So how we're going to do that is by highlighting. This is what we want to copy. Right click, copy, or we could have done Control C. These dancing ants mean that we're ready to copy something. Next, we're going to click on cell B4 because this is where we want to paste it. I could go Control V, so I could hit Control V, that's a shortcut, or right click, paste. So we've moved this information from here over to here. Hit escape to get rid of the dancing ants. So once again, by hitting escape, the dancing ants are now gone. Next, I'm going to do some basic formatting. We can't really read these various headers that well. So you want to make a note of this. We're going to highlight here from A4 all the way across to L4. So we've highlighted that. We're up in our Home tab, and we're going to click on Wrap Text. It's basic formatting, but it's going to allow us to see all of our headings. So now we can make out what these headings stand for. Next, one of the most basic of all Excel commands, no matter what you're doing, you always want to have your title and your subtitle merged and centered so that they stand out. It's easy to read. What we're going to do here is we have this title and also our subtitle. And we want to do it at the same time. We're going to merge and center both our title and our subtitle at the same time. So how we do that is by highlighting both and then dragging across up to this point right here. So what we're doing here is we're defining the page within this area, this is what we want to merge and center. So always the first step is to highlight the page in terms of where you want to merge and center your information. It's only up to this point here. Next step, click on Center. Doesn't seem as if anything's happened yet. However, the third and final step is to come over to this button here where it says Merge and Center. Hit the down arrow and then click on Merge Across. Now what you can see is that our title and subtitle are centered across the information. So we now have our title and subtitle merged and centered. I'm going to show you something. Many times you might make a mistake and you might want to change that merge and center. Okay? How you did it. Keep in mind that this button here is a toggle switch. You can turn it on and off. So I'm going to click it here. So bingo, it goes back to the way it had looked. Click here. Now it's back to the way it had looked. So I want to show you the way that if you're doing the title first and then the subtitle. So you're doing them one at a time. This is the way how Merge and Center used to work. You weren't able to do both at the same time. But once again, we're going to get the same answer. So we got our title. Hold down the left mouse and define the length of the page or width of the page. So within this area, we want to merge and center. Click here. That's our title, our subtitle. So once again, we're doing them one at a time. Here's our width, merge and center. So once again, it's giving you the same information. Okay? Once again, we can now see our labels or column headings. So we're going to go in and we're going to begin populating the areas here. So right now I'm in cell E5 and I'm going to use a formula to calculate my total sales. So our formula is going to be equal to, in order to calculate total sales, it's always your quantity multiplied by your total sales price or item sales price. So it's going to be your quantity multiplied by item sale price. That's our total sales. Now, a few things here. Any type of formula always begins with an equal sign. All formulas, they always begin with an equal sign. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to type in equal. Then we're going to use our mouse to click on the 45, which happens to be in cell B5. We're going to click on the multiplication sign, which is the asterisk. Okay? B5 multiplied by sales price, which is D5. Okay? Now, keeping in mind, we're not typing this information in. We're using our mouse to define the various cells. Come up here, click the check mark. We have an amount here. Here's our formula. But I want everyone to always get into the habit of double checking their work. And how you double check your work is by quickly double left clicking. And now we can see graphically what our formula is. It's B5, the quantity, multiplied by D5, which is your sales price for part 1. Quickly double left click. Here's our formula. Here's the pattern that we're going to copy down. So we hit escape here. That pattern looks good. So what we're going to do is go to our fill handle. We got our plus. Hold down the left mouse and drag down to this point right here. Because we want to double check, we're going to quickly double left click right here. And we know that we've copied that pattern down correctly because it's showing us B16 multiplied by D16. So the quantity sold here multiplied by the sales price. Next one, our total cost. Once again, it's a formula. Equal. Use our mouse and click on B5. That's our quantity. Multiplied by. For our total cost, multiplied by the cost, which happens to be in C5. Check mark. Now, these tire track signals, what they signify is that you don't have enough width in the column. So what you can do is come up here in between the columns. Okay, you have a cross and quickly double left click. So now you have enough space. But there's one over here also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a trick to do it all at once. Okay? One-stop shopping. And how you do that is come up to this Select All button. It's above row 1 and to the left of column A. If I click it, you see the entire sheet is now highlighted. If I click it again or click outside of it, that goes away. If I click outside of it, so it's no longer all highlighted. But I'm going to go back here again. The Select All or Global button. Click here. And then I can go within any column. Come over here or whatever. Any column. Get my cross and quickly double left click. See, everything is now auto fit. Click within my cell. Let's go back here again. And we're going to double check our formula. And we double check our formula by coming up into it. We can see it here, but this is the way we want to look at it. Quickly double left click. And it's showing me graphically 45 times my 35.86, which is in Excel talk, it's a formula equal B5, my first quantity, multiplied by my first cost. That's my correct pattern. I'm going to go to my fill handle, hold down my left mouse and drag it down. We're going to quickly double check this last one. So my pattern, I've corrected it or copied it correctly. You can see right here, B16 times C16. Total profit. Total profit is another formula. So we're going to begin once again, equal sign. But total profit is basically total sales. That's why I'm clicking here in E5 minus total cost, which is F5. Check mark. Double left click. Once again, it's showing me E5 less F5, which is my total sales less my total cost. I mean, that's my profit. Go to my fill handle, drag that pattern down. Not wide enough yet, so we can quickly double left click it. Double check it. E16 less F16, which is showing me that I've copied down the correct pattern. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to calculate the totals for each of these headers for quantity sold and initial item cost, sale price, total sales, total cost, and profit. But we're going to create a formula or a function to determine these totals. I'll show you a couple of ways of doing it, but we're going to start off by highlighting from here to here. These are our quantities sold. And you can see what I've done is I've highlighted starting from B5 to B16. I mean, this is going to be kind of a important range from B5 to B16, the rows. So I've highlighted that. And next, what I'm going to do is click on Autosum. And all of a sudden, there's an amount here of 839. And we can see a function here, Autosum. It's one of the most important of all Excel functions. It's probably the most popular. Autosum will give you a total of a range of cells. What that range is, quickly double left click. And it's showing me the range. I'm summing. And how you read this for this function, I'm summing the numbers between cell B5. Colon means a range. So starting at B5 all the way to B16. That's what in fact I want to do. So we double checked it by double left clicking it. This range from B5 to B16. In the range that we're looking at, in all cases, we're going to be summing from row 5 to 16. And you're going to see this in a second. Let's go to our fill handle and copy this across. Copy this pattern across. And you're going to say, well, did it work? The last one that I did is right here. And if I quickly double left click, yes, it has. I'm summing here for my total profit, G5 to G16. Once again, it's always those rows from 5 to 16. This is really, really important. This amount here is we're going to be looking at that in a minute, okay? So what I want you to do even is 5418, well, we got that. I want you to come up here with the paint bucket for the fill color and click. So we've made that yellow. Now, because we're going to be coming back here and using this one again. So we just finished looking at the most basic of all Excel functions, the sum function. And I really want to belabor this point, okay? I'm going to come back to this 839. If I quickly double left click it, it's showing me what my function is. But always keep in mind, and it doesn't matter what function that you use, functions always deal with a range of cells. In this case, our range of cells are beginning at B5. Colon means the range. So it's starting at B5, and it's always going down to B16. The key is to get the correct range of cells. That said, let's do our next one. And for our next function, we're going to use the average function. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight from here to here. And keep this in mind. You notice that I'm not including the 839 because I only want to get an average of these numbers. One of the most common of all mistakes is to have someone compute an average but also include the total. That is a no-no. You always want to just include your range of cells, but do not include the total. So I've identified the range. Come up here to Autosum, down, average. We have our average, and what we need to do is to double check it. Quickly double left click, and once again, here's the key. We're able to get this area right in here, starting at B5 all the way to B16. It did not include B17, otherwise we would have had the incorrect answer. Correct pattern, let's drag it across. Let's double check this last one. And it's saying average from G5 to G16. It's always continuing to look at those rows, 5 through 16. Next, we're going to do the highest. The highest means max. We're going to highlight our range of cells because the function needs to know what is your range of cells that you want to find the highest. So we highlighted that range of cells. Once again, we're not including the total or average. Highest means max. Come up here. Max. Come down here. Quickly double left click. And once again, we can see that we're using the function called max, and it's starting off at B5 all the way to B16. We hit a escape key, come over to our fill handle, and drag this pattern across. Let's get over here, quickly double left click. Check it out, make sure that we copied it correctly. In fact, we did. Maximum from G5 to G16. Let's do our lowest. We're going to highlight the range. Lowest means min. Here's our answer. Quickly double left click. Once again, it's min. This is the correct range. Hit the escape key. Come to our fill handle and drag it across. Let's check our last one. Quickly double left click. The function is min, and it's looking at the right range. G5 to G16. Let's do a little bit more formatting. All this information here has to do with revenue and profit, costs. It's dollars and cents. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight this area, and we're going to use the accounting format. So we now have dollar signs, and everything is rounded off to 2 places. If in fact we didn't have enough room in the columns, what we could do once again is come here to the global, or select all, double left click in between the cross, but everything was really wide enough anyways. However, let's go in here and do some formatting for these numbers here. I'm going to highlight them. Comma style. If I wanted to change the decimal places, right now the comma style is rounding off to 2 places. If I want to decrease that, and I do, I would come up here on the Home tab, decrease, click, click. Thank you.